You're listening to the Geriatric Mamas Podcast with Jessica Raziri
and Sonia Tapley. Hey mamas, today we have expert guest Angela Lamsback joining us. I mean, we get started with a little bit about the drama with Blake Lively and her co-star on that movie.
How could we not? It's everywhere.
Right, we couldn't help ourselves. But Angela is a certified nutritionist, personal trainer, and menstrual cycle educator who specializes in helping geriatric mamas reclaim their confidence through personalized fitness, nutrition, and cycle syncing strategies. As a fellow advanced maternal age mom who understands the demands of motherhood, Angela crafts personalized meal plans and workout strategies tailored to each mom's unique lifestyle needs. Whether it's feeling amazing in jeans or thriving postpartum, Angela is here to guide you towards progress, not perfection. She works in home with moms and virtually nationwide. Enjoy!
Mamas, I love a full and silky texture in my face creams because they feel so healing and comforting to my dry, thirsty skin. Well, the award-winning, best-selling, lightweight moisture release water cream by Honest Beauty called Hydrogel Cream refreshes and cools my skin on application and leaves a dewy finish. As I mentioned on the Hope episode, Kathy's Story, I love mixing Hydrogel Cream into my foundation for a healthy looking glow. Infused with jojoba and squalene to help hydrate and soothe thirst, plus 2 sizes of hyaluronic acid to help soften and firm, reducing the appearance of fine lines. Honest Beauty's Hydrogel Cream will provide a beautiful glow for very dry skin. We're leaving the link below in our show notes. Drink up, mamas.
Mamas, I want to have rosé all day, have fun, and let myself live a little without feeling drunk or feeling hungover the next day. So I treat myself by adding rosé tinted glasses to my sparkling water or lemonade. If you're like me and you're looking for calm daytime energy while feeling alert, present, and uplifted because, well, you know, you're a mom now. Adaptogenic and antioxidant-rich ingredients make rosé tinted glasses from Apothecary great for those battling feelings of stress and looking to curb signs of aging with improved skin tone and moisture. Its tincture format makes it easy to drop wherever you're making it. It's perfect for busy working moms, busy stay-at-home moms who are looking for mood and energy support on the go. We're leaving a link below and in our show notes. So cheers, mamas!
I love Blake, so I'm like the whole thing. I'm like, I don't know the story, I don't know what's going on, but I'm Team Blake. Doesn't matter. But she was sending videos or pictures or text.
No, text messages. Apparently, I can't remember his name, but he has proof that she was sending text messages of like, I want to be like more, physical, and I want to like, should I be wearing sexier outfits and things? Even though she was then turning around saying to him, blaming this all on him. But apparently, she was feeding into it at the time. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Very disappointing. No, I felt for her too, completely.
Yeah.
And, I'm a big Blake fan. My husband loves Blake. I feel like that's his hall pass,
Yeah. And her and Ryan Reynolds are just so cute.
They're the cutest.
With all their kids.
I was reading where she was saying that he was saying something about, I need to know how much she weighs, because there's like a scene where he was going to be carrying her or whatever, and apparently he's like, I have a bad back, so I need to know how much she weighs or whatever. And so, like, he was, like, asking her to, like, get on a scale or something like that. Yeah, so it was just, I'm like, you asshole. Like, you don't need to know that. Just say you can't carry anything.
Right.
Like, you don't need to know her weight. Like,
yeah.
So we're talking about the It Ends With Us movie drama with Blake Lively and the dude that was on the movie that nobody knows his name.
But I haven't actually taken the time to like read what the actual drama is. I'm just living in the headlines.
Yeah, same. I'm just like, it's still here.
I'm so frustrated because I don't know if any of you watched Jane the Virgin on my second maternity leave while I was a geriatric mama. I was obsessed with that show, and that's what got me through like pumping in the middle of the night and all of that. So, and he's like a sweetheart in that movie, and you just like love him. So it's very upsetting. I mean, I know real life versus, the TV, but anyway.
I actually watched it during postpartum as well, but it was like 3.5 years ago now, so I don't remember.
Jane the Virgin?
Yeah, I started watching a little bit of it, and I don't remember much because I watched like the first and second seasons.
Oh, I was obsessed with it. I mean, it was like nonstop. That's what got me to like sit and pump longer because I hated pumping.
Might have to get back into it.
That's actually a good tip. If you hate pumping, put on something that's going to distract you, so you just kind of like keep going.
Right.
Oh yeah, I would be like, I need to know what happens, and then I'd watch another. I think they're like 30, 40-minute episodes, and then next thing I knew, I'm like, oh, I got all this milk.
Yeah, that's what I do when I'm like working out. Actually, like I'll put on a show because I'm like, okay, if it's a song, I know the songs are like 3 minutes, and then it just feels like it goes on forever and ever and ever, and it just makes it feel like it's just dragging. But if I put on a show, I get like like Housewives or something, and I'm like watching Housewives, and I have to finish the whole episode, and it's at least like 30 to 40 minutes.
Right.
So it's like, okay, that's a great elliptical session. At least I got that in, and I don't like cut out because I'm like, well, I need to see what's going to happen.
Yeah.
So
You're like, good job, Jessica.
Yeah.
Pat on my back.
Thanks.
That's what I encourage all of my clients to do as well. You got to find something that entertains you and makes the time, or like listen to a book. That's another thing. If you're out walking, that helps, or podcasts, for instance.
Right, exactly. That's what I do on podcasts and audiobooks.
Yeah.
So speaking of clients,
So today we have expert guest Angela Lamsback joining us. Angela is a certified nutritionist, personal trainer, and menstrual cycle educator who specializes in helping geriatric mamas reclaim their confidence through personalized fitness, nutrition, and cycle syncing strategies. As a fellow advanced maternal age mom who understands the demands of motherhood, Angela crafts personalized meal plans and workout strategies tailored to each mom's unique lifestyle and needs. Whether it's feeling amazing in jeans or thriving postpartum, Angela is here to guide you towards progress, not perfection. She works in-home with moms and virtually nationwide.
yes, welcome, Angela. We are
Thank
so
you.
excited. Yeah, we are so excited to talk with you today because we have you on to chat with us about your recovery after having 2 babies.
Yes, 2 babies.
So your first baby you had when you were pre-geriatric age, and your second you had when you were post-geriatric age.
I thought you were going to say prehistoric.
Prehistoric age.
I mean, I feel prehistoric these days, so I don't know. At 41, I feel like,
I mean, you don't look prehistoric, but I feel the same.
Thank you. It's my toddler. He does it to me, for sure.
Aw, they keep us young.
They do.
Yes.
And we're also going to talk about how fitness, nutrition, and cycle syncing can have a huge impact on recovery after having a baby, plus how you've created an amazing business helping women improve their recovery experience.
Correct. Yes. Well, thank you so much for having me. I'm super excited to do this. I will say I love the name of your podcast. Because I remember I was pregnant my first baby was at 31. I had him at 32. And my sister was pregnant at the same time. She was a few years older than me. And she's like, well, yeah, geriatric. And I'm like, what? What does that even mean? Because she's like, well, yeah, you are too or something. I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm like, no one ever said that to me. And then I learned that it's anyone 35 and over.
Right.
And then in my second pregnancy, I understood all about that geriatric.
Yeah.
So I was 38 when I had my second son. So it was a pretty big difference between the two of them.
Right.
And I will tell you that the difference in recovery and everything was insane. How old were you guys when you had your babies?
I was 38 as well.
Yeah, I got pregnant at 38, had him at 39.
Okay. Yeah. So, I mean, it's insane because with my first baby, Jonathan, I worked out the entire pregnancy. I did strength training. I was doing cycling up until I was 8.5 months pregnant. And then I had him. I had a C-section. I recovered. I was up and walking within like an hour or something after my surgery. Like not even, it was insane. All the nurses were like, okay. Like I was just out walking the hallways, like pushing him around in the little cart thing. And I felt great. And the weight fell off super easy. I was like back in my normal clothes within like 4 months or something. And it was great. So I was like, oh, baby number 2, I got this. Like this is going to be easy. I'm going to enjoy myself. Well, it was the pandemic, so that was just a really fun factor. And, it was hard. You couldn't go to the gym. I also already had another child, so trying to get the mom time in while, working a full-time job and everything was really hard. I think also, with your second pregnancy, your body just knows what to do and it expands, I feel like, immediately.
Like, oh, we got you, boo.
Oh, yeah. Like,
Here's your home for the next 9 months.
oh my gosh. It's like the first time you're like, oh, I just can't wait till I have this little belly. And then all of a sudden the second one, you're like, wait a second, that's not supposed to happen yet.
You're like, I'm only 2 weeks in. What's happening?
Yeah. I was like, why do I feel so much larger? But anyway, so it was, I worked out, but it was just, everything just seemed so much harder. My back hurt more. It was just very different than the first. So fast forward after giving birth, first off, my son was in the NICU for 2 weeks after having him, which was, a struggle to begin with. And that's why I was talking about waking up and pumping and watching shows because I couldn't nurse him. So I tried everything. I thought, if I just did Weight Watchers, that would help me. I'd done that the first time, which was super helpful, but nothing seemed to be helping. I tried to do macros, which has anyone done macros before? Or do you do macros? Oh, it's very complicated, and I do not recommend it.
Yeah, that's why I haven't done it. It's because it seems very complicated.
Is it one of those things where you weigh your food? Is that what it is?
It's like you have to... Go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead.
My understanding is that, you have to kind of portion out what you're going to have for, protein, carbs, and what? Fat?
And fat, yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And you're only supposed to hit a certain number of grams per each per day.
Yeah.
You can go 10 grams in between, below or above, but it's very, you have to be very planned and have a lot of time to focus on that. And I think most moms, I'm kind of just flying by the seat of my pants and I'm like, ooh, let me just grab this to eat. And, I'm not planning very much ahead. So it was really hard. But then what I started to do, and I don't know why, just all of a sudden one day it clicked with me of if I just focus on my protein, everything else fell into place. My carbs fell into place, my fat fell into place. It just seemed so much easier. And I was like, okay, I'm just going to focus on protein. Forget about everything else. I'm not counting everything, this, that. And I also started to really focus in on my strength training, which was a huge piece because building muscle as opposed to doing hours of cardio on end. Once you have the muscle, it's constantly burning fat. Whereas with cardio, you get that hit and then it doesn't last forever, right?
Right.
So the second pregnancy was a lot harder to go through than the first one. So for all my other geriatric mamas, I hear you. Focus on your protein intake.
Yeah. That's one thing that I always feel I'm I need to sweat it out and I need to do all this cardio, but then I get so frustrated because I don't see anything. And then there's always that that fear of I don't want to bulk up, I don't want to be she-woman, and it's always a thing, and it's you're not naturally designed to bulk up and look like that. Calm down.
Right.
Unless you're taking stuff to make yourself be like that, that's not going to happen.
Right.
Yeah, and you're eating just chicken and broccoli, and that's pretty much the only way it's going to happen. But yes, a lot of people have that concern, and I will tell you, as hard as I work, getting my, I can't see it now, but getting my muscle definition is so hard, let alone getting bulky. Women are just not made that way. So, but yeah, it's one time I was oh wow, look at my muscle. My husband's oh, look at mine. I'm I work so hard for my muscle. It is very different than you.
Yeah.
So,
well, I think this is a really good segue since we've already started jumping in and talking about it. We have some questions for you. So you're going to be in the hot seat for a bit. So.
Love it.
You kind of started alluding to it, but how did you get into your business?
So I was in corporate sales my whole life. I started off in fashion, doing wholesale fashion, selling to department stores and things like that, from Betsy Johnson Intimates, which was a small startup within a larger company, right? So I loved that startup feel of this building the business from the ground up. And I'd always just at that point was at some point I want to own my own business. At that point I was in my 20s and I was I want to own a lingerie shop because I was focused on lingerie. But it never came into anything, obviously. And then I moved forward and I went into tech sales and website sales, and then I fell into recruiting, which is where I met my husband, by the way, and started doing job advertising from there. So I went from a company called Robert Half onto a company called Indeed, and then to ZipRecruiter. And at ZipRecruiter, I was employee 31. So very, very start of the company. Now it's at, I think, over 1,000 employees, 900, something like that at this point.
Oh, wow.
But anyway, so we really focused on building. I was there to help build the company from the ground up and build businesses. And I just kept thinking, I'm if I can do this, why can't I do this for myself? But what am I going to do? I want to do something I'm passionate about, that I love. And after the struggle with my second pregnancy and trying to get back on it and just talking to friends and be hey, try this, and seeing people have results and happy with it, I was I want to help moms. I want to help other moms understand that they are important and they deserve to have this, and to teach them some quick, easy ways to get them back to feeling better. So after talking with my husband about it, he's like, all right, go do it. So I resigned from my company and I started with just some in-person clients, and I get goosebumps thinking about it because it was just such an amazing feeling that these people are telling me like a couple months down the line, they're like, I feel so great, you've changed my life, like I'm in such a different spot than I was before. And also just, it's not just helping them with their physical, it's also with their mental. So like I have one client, she's like, oh, I need to get my hair cut, I need to get it cut, this, that. As she's like doing her push-ups, I'm like, all right, what's your hair salon? I'm gonna call them right now, and I'm gonna make an appointment for you. Like, you need to do this, you know, like making sure they're taking care of themselves as a whole. So, or like I had another client who, she just had her baby and she was looking for a dress for the christening or the baptism, and I was like, hey, like giving her ideas for this and that. So it's like a full support for the mom of like, you need to take care of yourself. You're important. Don't have that mom guilt. So,
right. Mama advocate.
Yes, exactly. I mean, I am very fortunate. My in-laws are awesome and they help out so much. And I have my husband, but I didn't have a lot of family when we had our first son. And even like our second son, we had more friends, but it's like building that support network for a lot of people who don't have it near them, for that person to be like, hey, you deserve to like leave the baby for a little bit and go take care of yourself, or go get your nails done, whatever it might be. So I just really push that with all of my clients along with the health part. So
Agreed.
Yeah. As far as advice for moms, where would I start if I wanted to start working out?
Asking for ourselves.
Asking for a friend.
We need to know.
Asking for a friend. I totally get it. I think what happens with a lot of people, and even myself too, is that they think like working out is going to the gym and spending an hour, and that's the only way you're going to see results and effects. My recommendation to people and my clients is that you start small. Just start with simple habits that you build throughout the weeks. So for instance, I'm running with one of my clients, it's like we're adding in her water intake, right? Like add your water intake in. Or if you really want to focus on working out first, start with like doing a push-up a day. Or because as a mom, it's hard to get it in. So it's like if you can start like feeling that in you and you're like, oh, I got this, I can do this, you can figure out how to get that time in even more. I guess it also depends on like your stage in life. Is like, do you have a newborn? Or are you on maternity leave? Or like, are you a working mom, right? For like people that are home on maternity leave, once again, it's body weight stuff. Like, don't stress yourself out that you need to leave and go do something. Doing 20 squats, push-ups, whatever, holding a plank, like all of those types of things are super effective and you can do at home very quickly. So, and then for all of us working moms, when you're back at work and you need to figure out your schedule, people think you need to be there like 4 or 5 days a week. All of my clients only do twice a week. I do 2 to 3 times a week, and then just add walking and stuff in too. You really don't, like if you're lifting properly, you don't need to spend a ton of time, doing it. And you can do it anywhere. You can get the weights and have it.
Right?
Yeah.
That's great news.
I mean, for all of my clients, they have, I use an app actually for all of my virtual clients that has videos of like what the exercise is that they're going to do. And then I have different workouts for them. So it's like 20-minute at home, 20-minute anywhere, 30 minutes in the gym, like whatever it might be, so that they know where they can do it, how quickly it can get done, and just making sure you're targeting efficient movements too. So
That's awesome.
hopefully that helps you. I don't know.
No, that was really good.
That's
Yeah.
definitely really good.
I think as women, we overcomplicate it,
We definitely do. We tend to. That's for sure. So is it safe to work out while we're pregnant?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Of course, always go by what your doctor says. Usually the rule of thumb is that you want to be able to hold a conversation without struggling if you're doing cardio, or be able to say your full address and name without struggling. And then the other rule of thumb I would say is that like you shouldn't, if you were lifting weights before, you're not going to then go start lifting super heavy weights now, right? Like I always err on the side of being safe and cautious. But yeah, definitely you should be working out. It's going to help with recovery too. So even just start with walking is a great way to start. So
Yeah, I really leaned hard into the I can't work out, I'm pregnant. Whole thing.
I mean,
I have photos to prove that as well.
This is also bringing me back, like, I'm not pregnant, but it's bringing me back to this week when we had to walk 4 flights of stairs instead of using an elevator, and
It's awful.
I don't think if I had to stand there and concentrate on saying my full name and address, I would have, like, sounded okay. I need to work out. I'm so out of shape.
It was a lot.
I mean, taking the stairs would be a great improvement.
Right.
Is this a building you're in often?
Yeah, well, no.
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay. I was gonna say, like, I have clients and they live in an apartment building, and I'm like, just walk up the stairs. You live on the 5th
don't
floor.
take the elevator.
Walk up
Yeah.
the stairs. You don't have to rush. Just slowly walk up them. Or like clients who work in, I have a few clients who work in Manhattan, and I'm like, in your office building, walk down the stairs. You'll get your steps in.
Yeah, exactly.
Quick little things like that is gonna make a big difference in the long run. So.
Yeah, my issue is that I work from home, and so it's like I'm sitting all day at a computer, and then it's I get like tunnel vision into what I'm doing, and the next thing I know, it's like the end of the day,
Yes.
and I might not have eaten anything, and then it's like I'm scarfing down whatever I can find. It's probably not even warm, it's cold, and I'm just like, whatever, it's fine. And then I'm just like, go, 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 and then I go to bed. And so it's like, to stop and think, it's like, get up, move around, like, do something.
Right.
So I have a recommendation for that. If you put it on your calendar and schedule 15 minutes or 20 minutes even.
Time block it.
Yes. You time block everything else for work, right? Like, you know, I say this when my husband used to work in the corporate world, I'd be like, nothing matters if you don't have your health, right? Like, you're not going to be able to be doing that job if you don't have your health. You need to focus on taking care of yourself. You deserve that. So, yeah, time blocking, or just make it on the weekends. Like, you know, tell your partner, I have 30 minutes scheduled, I'm going to go do this. Like, you're in charge of the kids or whatever it is. So I understand it. It's, you know, you want to be with the kids on the weekend, but 30 minutes is going to make you a much better parent than...
It's much more, it's a reasonable ask too, you know, like just like carving out 15 minutes a day. I'm sitting here thinking like, oh, I mean, yeah, I can do 15 minutes a day, but I always have it in my head, like it has to be 35, 40 minutes, it has to be an hour, it has to be whatever, and I'm like, oh, it's such a big production. But if I just look at it as like, no, it's just quick 15 minutes, do some push-ups, do some whatever.
Right, exactly, some squats. I mean, I have like an alarm that goes off every day at 4 p.m. It drives some people in my family crazy, but my kids love it. I'm like, that's my push-ups. I do 10 push-ups at 4 o'clock. I mean, I want to say every day, but there are days sometimes it just doesn't happen because I might be somewhere or whatever. But I mean, that's my thing. That's my reminder to do it. And my kids get all into it and they think it's great. But yeah, I mean, just little things like that can really help make a difference. So
We should start doing that.
Yeah.
4 o'clock, let's go.
Let's do it.
Who else wants to join us?
Yeah, I know.
Let's
Go, let's start a movement.
Hey mamas, are you someone who's 35 plus and struggled with fertility, endured a miscarriage, experienced heartbreaking fostering or adoption challenges, or were perhaps flat out told by a doctor that you will never conceive naturally, and despite the odds, eventually found your happy ending by becoming a mama?
Send us your story at geriatricmamas.com. We would love to feature your journey to motherhood on a future Geriatric Mamas episode. So can I lift weights while I'm pregnant?
Yes, definitely. As long as your doctor says it's okay. The recommendation is to stick with what you were doing before pregnancy. But if you weren't lifting weights before, you can slowly ease into it. And I would recommend to definitely have a professional helping you and start light, higher reps. And you want to be lifting weights and building that muscle in your strength, because as you get larger throughout your pregnancy, you want to try to avoid that back pain. You want to have strong glutes to help you hold all of that weight, and, you know, strong quads and everything too. So yes, you can definitely lift weights while pregnant.
Yeah, perfect. So I know you kind of touched on this a little bit, but what's the intensity level that you should be working out while you're pregnant?
For strength training, once again, it's that you don't want your body to overheat too much, so that's a major factor. So if anything hurts at all, you need to stop immediately, because that's usually a sign that something's wrong. So it's really just about listening to your body and what you're comfortable with. Unfortunately, it's not like a clear answer of like only lift 10 pounds, right? Because everybody's different. So I can't say it enough. Listen to your body. If it doesn't feel good, don't do it.
Right, definitely. That makes sense.
I have another question that's not on here, but it kind of goes with everything. So one of the things that I was always like told is that like while you're pregnant, you should, like, if you were working out before you're pregnant or whatever, like keep doing that. While you're pregnant isn't the time to just start being like, let's start working out. Is that true?
I mean, like I said before, is that usually, yes, that's the rule of thumb to be doing what you're doing before. Like, you're not going to be like, oh, now I'm going to go train for a marathon now. Like, but, or like,
maybe, but.
Right, or like, oh, hey, I'm going to go try to squat 300 pounds. Or like, you know, you've never picked up a weight before. Like, slow and steady into it. Like, you know, start with 3-pound dumbbells, you know, or, you know, body weight stuff, and like, and start to slowly work your way into getting a little bit heavier. But once again, make sure your doctor said it's okay and that you're listening to your body throughout. So,
yeah, definitely. So, what are some benefits of working out to mental health and combating postpartum depression?
Sure. So I think that, I don't know that it's necessarily going to help with postpartum depression. There's no, I don't know enough about that, but definitely for mental health, it's going to help you think clearer. It gets you moving. You have that like alone time, but mainly the thing is it's going to help with your recovery after pregnancy. So especially like I had 2 C-sections. My first C-section, awesome recovery. Like I said, I was up and walking like an hour after it. Second C-section, when I was 38 and didn't really work out at all like I did the first pregnancy, and I was a bit older, I didn't get out of bed until I had the baby at like 7:30 in the morning until like 5 o'clock, and that was being put in a wheelchair, okay? So to go see my baby, who I hadn't even met yet because he was in the NICU, and I just remember thinking like, I can't let any other moms have this happen. Like, they need to work out during their pregnancy to keep that core strength and everything before, you know, your body just goes bloop. So yeah, that's a huge benefit. So if you ever have like a C-section or anything, all of my clients that I've worked with so far that I've trained through pregnancy, they both had their second babies, 2 of them, and one of them was their third baby. And they were like, the recovery was so much better. Like, their husbands noticed it, everything, that they were up and walking around. And neither of them even had C-sections. They had regular vaginal births. And they were like, I just felt so much better this time. And they believe it was all because, like, you know, doing all those squats helps strengthen your pelvic floor. So, you know, all these things are beneficial to making sure that you can move after pushing that bowling ball out. So,
and that was what Natalie was saying in her episode, was like, any advice, she's just like, work on strengthening that pelvic floor. It's all about strengthening that pelvic floor. She had some issues that happened. So,
yes, definitely 100%. Very important. Squats. That's all you have to do.
And it reminds me of, I forgot her first name, but we had a woman on, her Instagram handle was Mama Wears Athleisure, just very into fitness throughout her pregnancy. And she said she had no complications, no issues. She felt great after having her baby. And
awesome.
Fitness is her whole thing. So,
So, we did a whole episode on this, but we would absolutely love to hear your take on it. What is cycle syncing?
Cycle syncing. Love this topic because it's like such a topic of, you know, like everyone's on it now. So when I first started my business, I was like, okay, I know I definitely want to help moms and this and that. And then I saw this person who was posting about like cycle syncing and hormones and this and that, and I was like, you know what, I would be interested. Now I have the time to learn more about this because I always struggled from awful periods, to like figure out how I can help my body so I don't have to deal with that anymore. So fast forward, after taking some courses and getting certified and all of that, I think that what happens is, once again, people think it's like this big complicated eluded thing of like cycle syncing. They're like, ooh. First off, I think a lot of us as women don't even fully understand our bodies. Like, I finally learned that you have 4 phases of the cycle. Like, didn't know that before this education. But with cycle syncing, it's working with your body as opposed to working against it, right? So throughout each phase of your cycle, you have your menstruation or bleed phase, your follicular phase, your ovulatory phase, and your luteal phase. During each of those phases, you should really be focusing on certain nutrients and then also certain exercises and things during those times so that you're not working against your body. So make it short, cycle syncing is syncing your lifestyle with your cycle. Does that make it simple enough? Or?
Yeah, no, it's perfect. You know, just little Miss Luteal over here was just talking about so luteal. She's like, I'm sort of present, sort of here. I'm luteal, moon face. We're here.
Right.
We're here to hang out.
I'm here.
To help you with your luteal phase, you should be focusing on foods like kelp, almonds, cheddar cheese, apples. If you're craving salt, because that's something that I always crave, eat seaweed. I don't know how you feel about that, but I like the dried seaweed.
Girl, but
Okay. Or just put sea salt in your water. Okay?
Yeah.
There you go.
I will definitely do that.
Yeah.
I'll put sea salt on everything.
But
Happily.
you could do that too. I was thinking more like in your water bottle, but whatever works, you know.
It's like I'll put on my mac and cheese, on my pizza.
Exactly. All the things I should be eating in my luteal phase.
Exactly.
So healthy.
So yeah, it would be about like focusing on eating those certain types of foods, like making sure you're getting enough of those nutrients during each phase. And then, you know, like for each phase you have, like during your like bleed phase or menstrual phase, whatever you want to call it, it's more of like, once again, I want you to listen to your body, but it's more low intensity things like yoga, walking, Pilates, light stretching. Like certain stretches can help you with, if you have cramps or anything, you know, like child's pose or baby, happy baby. I was gonna say baby pose, but child's pose and happy baby are good ones. And then during your follicular phase, you're feeling good. You have a lot more energy, right? Like as soon as your bleed phase is over, you're like, I am the woman. Like, or at least after like day 1 or 2, right? So when you're in that like full follicular phase, that's when I want you to be doing like heavy strength training, HIIT workouts, running, cycling. And I want those to be the times during those days, it's like days about 16 to 14 in your cycle. I want those to be the days that you're trying to hit PRs, that you're trying to get, you know, the most that you've lifted or done anything in each exercise. So, and then during your ovulation phase, what is it, like around day 14, that's when your body's feeling awesome. And once again, you're going to keep with that heavy strength training, HIIT workouts and whatnot. So luteal phase. Let's talk about the luteal phase.
Yes, let's talk about that.
since that's where we are today, right? I mean, if you really want to know, I'm in my follicular phase, just so we know where everyone's at today. And I'm like feeling that like I need to go, you know, conquer the world. But for anyone in their luteal phase, it's more going to be like yoga, Pilates, swimming, more of that like moderate activities, low impact. But once again, like everyone feels different during each phase. Like there's like the general, right? But like I've met people who during their bleed phase, they like feel their best. So if your body is feeling great, then yeah, go ahead and push yourself. But if you're dragging, your body's telling you that for a reason. So use the cues, but these are the main recommendations of what to do during each phase.
So how can we help with like improving energy levels throughout the month, regardless of like what phase we're in?
Working out is going to help a lot. I know that sounds like...
I'm kidding.
I'm telling you. I mean, listen, everyone thinks like, oh, you're in, you know, fitness, you do personal training and you help other people. Like you must work out every day and like spend all this time at the gym. And I'm like, no, I am a mom just like you. I run a business and I have 2 boys. Like you know, I also have my husband. Like I don't have all that time either. You just need a little bit of time. I do 2 to 3 days of strength training a week, and I try to add in as much walking as possible. You know, now it's freezing, so I try to do it at the gym, or I'll go to the mall, walk around there, try not to buy too much, but you know, and like,
I can do that.
and then it's really going to be about the foods you eat. That's what's going to help you with, you know, better energy. I think, you know, anyone, if you're honest with yourself, not you specifically, but everybody, it's like the less quality foods that you eat, the worse you feel. Like if I go and eat like a bunch of ice cream or like donuts and this and that, not saying I don't, because I believe in a balanced lifestyle, but if I eat like too much or too many days, or I'm not like getting my workouts in, and I start to just feel that like, ugh, like just lagging, I don't want to get up, you know, all of that. So I always think like, how is this going to make me feel when I put it in my body? And that usually helps me be like, okay, I don't want to eat this. This isn't going to make me feel good. But that's going to help with your energy levels, the type and quality of food you're putting in your body.
Definitely. Definitely.
So how does cycle syncing help with managing PMS symptoms?
Sure. So like I was saying with cycle syncing, you're going to be eating the nutrients that your body really needs during those phases. So what it's going to help with is by usually PMS, like if you get cramps or you have cravings, headaches, things like that, it's because your body is responding to lack of specific nutrients. So if you're eating those nutrients during the time your body really needs it, then you will avoid those symptoms. So I will give you a cheat thing though. I take a supplement that has helped so much. Like I don't have cramps anymore, whereas I used to have like the worst cramps ever. In combination with doing this, it's called Ovamoon, and you take 3 pills a day, every day. You give it like 2 or 3 months, and I'm telling you, like I also used to get like really bad cystic acne up until I was like, when I started taking it, probably 3 years ago, up until I was 37, 38.
Oh, wow.
And this has cleared that. It's helped with my cramps just because it has all those nutrients, or I don't want to say all of them, but a lot of them of what your body needs to help you balance your hormones and give your body what it needs. So
Yeah.
so I highly recommend it. Ovamoon.
Yeah, like get them as a sponsor. We'll add that in the show notes.
Seriously.
That's awesome. What a great tip. And yeah, I mean, it totally makes sense that like, because it's all hormones, right? Like how we're feeling and stuff. I remember my acupuncturist was saying that like when you're pregnant, when you're feeling nauseous and you're getting headaches, you're getting this and that, that's all a sign of a hormone imbalance. And it's because your hormones are all over the place while you're pregnant. So the same thing with your period, and it makes sense that you need certain nutrients to help stabilize things and give your body what it needs during certain times where your hormones are all over the place.
So this supplement that you were just talking about, is that something that it, like, what's in it fluctuates throughout the month, or do you just take the same one throughout the month and it covers everything? Oh, that's awesome.
Amazing.
Yeah, I mean, they also have it for perinatal, wow.
Sexy menopause is what we call it.
Okay, sexy perimenopause. I don't know why I was just tripping over my words there, because I was also thinking that they have prenatal vitamins, I was combining the two thoughts. They have that as well, and they also have like a tea too if you're not into taking pills. I haven't tried the tea, but I do the pills, and it's like if I mess it up for some reason, I don't take it. Like sometimes I travel, and sometimes I just mess up. I don't take it every day, or I like skip like a couple days in a row. I can see the effects of it, so it definitely is a huge key to keeping everything in line for me and helping with all of those PMS symptoms too.
Yeah.
So
That's awesome. What a great tip.
yeah, I mean, I would just say like encouraging moms that they deserve that time, and that I think that we all have this mom guilt of like, oh, I can't leave the kids, or like I know like some of my clients, it's like their husbands go and plan, or their partner goes and plans to like go work out, and then they're like, well, what about me?
Yeah.
So I've taught my clients to be like, put it on the family calendar, it's there, so you know this is your time to take care of the kids. Or like I joined a local gym, and they have kids care, so if worst comes to worst, I just take them with me, and they love going in there to play. So but yeah, I just think the importance is making sure that you take care of you, because you deserve it. And it's something that is important for your mental, and to make sure that you're good for everybody else too.
Right. And it's so important for us, especially as geriatric mamas, because of longevity. And you can really see the difference. I don't know, there's like so many studies and like videos about it, but you can see the difference as you age, men and women, people who are sedentary and people who have worked out. And we want to be there when our kids are graduating from high school. We want to be at their weddings if they choose to get married. We want,
Right. And you want to be able to play with the grandkids. Like, you want to be able to sit down on the floor and get up. So that's where it's also...
I can get down.
But, I mean, it's true. Like, I see it happen,
Yeah.
And it's like, and that's why, like, lifting weights, especially now, like, in our 40s, is so important, because we lose so much muscle mass each I think it's like 3 or 10% every 10 years, whatever it is. Don't quote me on what the percentage was, but so that you're like fighting against yourself. Like, you need to make sure you're building all that muscle, so that as you're losing it, you still have it, so that you can get out of a chair independently, and that you can, go dance at your kid's wedding if they choose to get married, right? Like, you don't want to be sitting there not being able to move. So if you're not going to do it for yourself today, do it for your future self is my recommendation.
Exactly.
So
That's great advice.
Yeah.
and it's like, the other thing is too, is that like, I'm not like some bikini model who's like walking around. Like, I have like my stretch marks and I have my stretched skin, but I'm super strong and I can just like jump in and, you know, it's like I help coach with my son's basketball team. I'm like in there running with the kids and, you know, keeping up with them, like playing one-on-one. And, you know, once again, I'm not a fitness model, but I'm in great shape and my blood work is good. Like, it's not about that. It's about just being healthy and feeling good in your own body.
Yeah. You are clearly very in shape. I tried playing basketball with Mike one time when we were out on vacation, and the next day, and the next day, and the next day, I could not walk. So it's a very intense sport.
Well, especially when you're playing against a bunch of 8-year-old boys.
Yeah,
Let me tell you.
Exactly.
Yeah. One of the other moms at the end, she was like, I can't believe you were just running those line drills with the kids. So I don't know if anyone knows what line drills are, but it's like you start at like the baseline of the court and then you run to, I think it's the foul line, then you run back, then you run up to like mid-court, then you run back, then you run to the foul line on the opposite side of the court, then you run back, and then you run all the way to the other side of the court, and then you run back.
It's horrible.
So yeah, I'm happy that I'm able to do that and keep up with the kids. And, you know, like I was saying, I'm in great shape. I might not be a size 2, but, you know, I don't really care to do that. My point is to be healthy and stay healthy and show my kids what a healthy lifestyle looks like.
It's amazing.
Awesome.
And you're doing it. So, Angela, this has been such an amazing and informative episode for us.
Very timely, too, with the new year.
Exactly. It couldn't be better. It's 2025. People are, you know, hopefully still deep into their New Year's resolution.
I love
I hope so. I hope so.
Yeah. And then I'm seeing reels now that are like, you know, for those moms who haven't set their intentions yet for 2025. We're here for you. This episode is here for you. Angela is here for you. So,
definitely.
For listeners who would like to get in touch with Angela, her Instagram handle is Lamsback on Location. And her website is Lamsback on Location. And when you spell Lamsback, it is Lamsback.
Yes, people often get that confused with lamb and they want to spell it Lamb.
Like a little farm animal. Yeah.
Yeah, I have clients all across the country, which has been great. So, I mean, the goal is for me to help as many moms as I can. That's the goal. So,
It's amazing.
I appreciate you guys having me. Thank you so much. This was so fun.
Thanks for being on. This was amazing.
Thank you, everyone, for listening. Be sure to tune in next week. Your support is keeping the podcast going. You can help by following, subscribing, rating, reviewing, and especially by telling a friend to listen anywhere or watch on YouTube.
Yes. For more info, you can check out our website, www.geriatricmamas.com. You can also follow us on Instagram and TikTok at geriatric_mamas, on YouTube at Geriatric Mamas, Twitter at Geriatric Mamas, and follow our group page on Facebook, Geriatric Mamas.
If you have a topic idea you'd like us to discuss, are interested in being a guest, or simply have a funny geriatric story to tell, you can go to geriatricmamas.com and hit be a guest or send us your story.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye.